Hey everyone, Homostar Fan 13 here. Welcome to the next video game collection series, and this time it's on PSP. I don't think I have as much to say about these games as I do the other games, because I actually only got a PSP a few years ago. Well, I had a PSP when I was younger, and then I rebought, and then I sold it and then rebought it a few years ago. So a lot of these games I've not had a lot of time. I haven't put as much time into these games as I have other stuff. So this one might be a lot quicker, but I'll still just show you all the games. So first up, we've got the traditional like PlayStation stuff, and first off we've got Ratchet and Clank Size Matters. So this is the only PSP exclusive Ratchet and Clank game. I've only played like a bit of it. I think it's fine. I don't think it's not like a typical Ratchet and Clank game. I think it's more like a sort of I don't really know what kind of game it is. I just know it's not like a typical Ratchet and Clank thing. Unfortunately, I don't have Secret Agent Clank, which is a shame because that's one of the games I did have when I was younger, and I really want to get that game back because I actually really do like it. But yeah, from what I've played, it seems okay. Next up, we've got Daxter. So this was a spin-off to Jak and Daxter. I only really played the first Jak and Daxter game, but I really enjoyed it. But obviously I want the other Jak and Daxter game as well, but this is the only one I've got. And again, as it's a spin-off, it's not a typical Jak and Daxter game because you only play as Daxter. Again, it's funny how both Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter had their own games based on their sidekicks. From what I can remember, Secret Agent Clank was better, or at least I enjoyed that one more, but again, I've only played the first level of this. And yeah, from what I've played, it's fine, I guess. I guess it doesn't have that. A lot of people find Daxter a bit annoying, so because the idea of playing a whole game with him probably doesn't... A lot of people don't find that enjoyable, but I think it's okay. Next up, Burnout Dominator. I think this is like a port of Burnout 3. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I know there's an original Burnout game, and then there was also this one which was called Dominator, but it's actually just Burnout 3. And I think this is Burnout 3, but I mean either way, it's still a fun game because it's Burnout, and Burnout on the go is great. But have a look at something I just noticed when I looked to this game a few minutes ago. Look at that, Burnout 5. So this was actually supposed to be, this was Burnout Paradise. You could just see the bottom there. Yeah, Burnout Paradise. So this is an old promotional thing for Burnout Paradise before it was actually called Paradise. That's quite interesting. It's always good to see stuff like that. See what games looked like before they actually came out. See all the old material and all the old... like names, like obviously that's before they finalised the name Paradise. Like I don't know if they were going to call it Burnout 5 Paradise, or they were just going to call it, yeah, still fun, still cool to look at. But yeah, just Burnout. Burnout's great. Next up we've got the fighting games. First off we've got Soul Calibur Broken Destiny. Yeah, it's a fun Soul Calibur game on PSP. It's always nice to have these games on the go. Like, that was what was great about the PSP, was it had some quite big games you could play on the go. And this one's quite interesting because you can see there, it's got Kratos in it. Yeah, Kratos was a guest character in this. Meaning this is now the second fighting franchise that Kratos has guest starred in, because he was also in Mortal Kombat 9. Yeah, who would have thought that Kratos would have been... I wonder if that was like a start that Kratos was going to make more guest appearances in games. Yeah, widely known appearing in Street Fighter. That was what was obviously next, or Tekken. That's what... Tekken 8, Kratos should be the guest character from Tekken 8. That'd be fun. Yeah. Again, Soul Calibur, pretty fun. Oh, speaking of Tekken, Tekken Dark Resurrection. I want to say this is like a version of Tekken 6, Tekken 5, whichever one was on PS3. I think this was like a port of that one. And I think this was also the first game to feature Lily in it, which is good because she's one of my favourite characters. Yeah, again, it's just typical Tekken gameplay and typical Tekken game on that. Yeah, fun. Yeah, like I said, not a lot to say about these games because there's just not a lot to them, And again, I've only put small time into them, such as Dissidia Final Fantasy. So yeah, this was a Final Fantasy fighting game, like an arena brawler. I'd say it's kind of like the Budokai Tenkaichi games, but with Final Fantasy characters. Yeah, I played a bit of it and I quite enjoyed it. You know, you've got I think it's got a character from every Final Fantasy at the time. So like Cloud's there, Kefka. And I think that's X-Death from one of the earlier ones. Yeah, I know nothing about Final Fantasy. I only know Final Fantasy 7 because of the remake. But yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I remember seeing people talk about this game on YouTube back in the day, and so I knew when I got my PSP again that this was a game I really wanted. I'm gonna get a sequel as well because that's got a lot more characters in it. Yeah, pretty good. Next up, Sonic Rivals. So I had Sonic Rivals 2 when I was younger, but I haven't found that game yet, so I've only got Sonic Rivals 1. Yeah, I like these games. I like this game. So it's sort of a Sonic racing game, but on foot, like Sonic R, but like probably better because it's on a 2D like platformer style. Yeah, it's quite fun. I wouldn't say it's like amazing, and it's not the greatest game ever. I still would rather play like the All-Star Racing games over this. But yeah, still kind of fun. I'd recommend if you haven't. Yeah, I would recommend you try and find a copy of this because it is quite fun. And now we'll go to the licensed games, and I'll do all these together because they're all ports of games I've already talked about. So we've got SmackDown vs. Raw. This is the only one I don't have a case for, unfortunately. SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, and SVR 2010. So yeah, there's not really much else to say about these games because they are basically just the console games, but on PSP. Obviously, they're not as good. Like they've obviously the graphical downgraded and that, and certain things, but you know, not bad. I honestly think these are really, really good ports for the system. Like they do feel like the console games, but on a handheld. So it works, and you know, 07 is a really good game. So having that on PSP is a really, really good thing. One thing I will say about the this one, so this was, as I mentioned, this was the very first SmackDown vs. Raw. I think was it? Is it the first one or is it the second? Is it 2006? I can't remember now. All I know is that one. Oh yeah, I think it is 2006. I don't think the first one came out on PSP. Or I don't know. Yeah, I think something about this one is that this one really has its own mini games here. Like it's got poker. They've got a trivia game in it. Like yeah, they've got weird mini games in this game that aren't in the console version, which is kind of funny. So I guess that's technically the best version of that game to get. Oh, and also 08 has 3 extra legends in it. I think it's got Eddie Guerrero, Sergeant Slaughter, and Jim Neidhart. So yeah, weirdly enough, the PSP games have some exclusive content to them that you can't get anywhere else. And also in 06 you can unlock Jake Roberts, and if you can actually connect the PSP to the PS2 to unlock him on there, which is kind of cool. That was like a very early thing of the PSP, was that you could connect the 2 PS2 games. I don't think many games did it though, so it kind of died out. But yeah, if you have a PSP, I'd recommend you get these games. Next up, I'll do these two together. Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Battlefield Renegade Squadron. So Battlefield 2, again, is just the console version, which again, great to have that on a handheld because it's awesome. And Renegade Squadron is kind of like the closest. So there were two PSP exclusive Battlefront games. There was this one, and I want to say it was a Elite Squadron or something like that. Basically, they're the closest we got to Battlefront 3. Yeah, so I think I would argue that a lot of the things that were planned for Battlefront 3 happened in these games, which is, you know, sad that we never got a proper Battlefront 3. But yeah, so again, have a PSP, sorry. Yeah, if you have a PSP, I'd try and recommend you get the Battlefront games because, again, Battlefront 2 is one of the best Star Wars games ever created, and having it in a handheld is the best. Again, obviously not as good as the console version because it's not got the same amount of controls and that, but still really, really good. Next up, Cars. Disney Pixar Cars. Alright, hot take here. I actually kind of like the Cars franchise. I think Cars 1's a pretty fun movie. I haven't seen Cars 2 since I was a child and I remembered liking it, so maybe if I watch it again I'll know it's bad. But Cars 3 I think is actually really underrated. I think Cars 3 felt like the one where they were like, hey, let's actually try and make this a good franchise. But having said that, the Cars video games were actually kind of fun. I don't think this one's... I will say, I assume this was just going to be the PS2 version. I don't think it is. I think it's a bit different to the PS2 game, which was actually pretty fun. But yeah, I still think it's a good game. I still would recommend... Again, if you like Cars, I think it's a fine game. I've only played it once, but from what I played of it, it was pretty cool. And the last two, I'll do this one first because, you know, it's just FIFA 10. Again, part of my trying to buy FIFA for every system. Yeah, pretty cool, I guess. That's about it. But the last one, Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai, yeah, so there was like there were 4 Dragon Ball Z games on PSP. This one, Shin Budokai 2, Tenkaichi Tag Team, and Dragon Ball Evolution. So yeah, scratch that. There were actually 3 Dragon Ball Z games on console. Yeah, I was right the first time. Yeah, hopefully this is the only one I've got so far. I would like the other two, and I guess Evolution as well, because whatever. Yeah, pretty fun. It's not the same as Budokai. Like, it isn't as fun as the Budokai games on console. They actually do try to do their own thing with this, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I think, and it's it's got some exclusive characters. It's got Janemba here and that Pycon guy. I want to say this was before Infinite World came out. So yeah, Dragon Ball Z on PSP, pretty good. I really haven't got the other ones at some point. So yeah, that was it. That was very quick. Except it's not it yet, because there's a couple of other PSP games. Well, I say games. There's a couple of other PSP things I want to talk about. Do you remember UMD Video? Do you remember these were PSP, like, you could buy films and DVDs and TV shows on PSP and watch them on your PSP. And I have, for some reason, started a little bit of a habit of collecting them. So these are the few I've got so far. I've got Family Guy Blue Harvest, the Star Wars parody, Simpsons movie, Spider-Man 1, just picked that one up, the Monday Night War, based on WCW, based on the WWE versus WCW stuff. And the reason I kind of started this collection, because I saw this in my local CEX and thought I have to pick this up, Fawlty Towers Season 1. It was that Fawlty Towers Season 1 set of PSP that just made me look at that, and I just saw that and I was like, that is hilarious, and I want to buy that because that just looks so ridiculous, Fawlty Towers on PSP. And yeah, like I've seen these, I've watched these four. Like I said, I just bought this one, so this will be the next one I watch. I just love the concept. I just think it's like, if you saw my GBA video, I talked about the GBA video stuff and how I want to collect those. Just because I find it so fascinating to buy these sort of DVDs on PSP, and just so it's fun to watch them like on car trips and or whatever. I mean, I know I don't need them because I've got like Disney Plus and Netflix and I can just download them, but I don't know, there's something fun about buying these and watching them on a PSP. Yeah, so this is my collection of DMD videos at the moment. I'm hoping to get more. Like, I made a list of games of the films I want to get. I want to get Spider-Man 2, obviously, and I want to get a bunch of the WWE ones because I think that'll be fun. And like one of the ones they released was WrestleMania 24, which is the first wrestling pay-per-view I ever watched. So I definitely want that. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. I just thought I'd show you my collection of these. If you want to see me do a DVD collection video, I can do that as well. Probably not like straight away. Like I want to once I finish these game collections, I want to take a break from them, maybe do some other stuff. But yeah, if you want to see me talk about DVDs and that, then let me know and I'll do a video on those at some point. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. We're almost done. Next time will be the very last one, and that'll be 3DS games. So I really hope you enjoy that. Bye everyone.